Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am doing something I've never done before. Makeup. This is gonna be so bad, but I wanted to do a Pride makeup video with my sibling Ellis, who does makeup better than I literally ever could in my life. I'm gonna be asking him questions and all of that stuff while I get my makeup done. So yes, this is not something I've ever done before. I'm not the most comfortable right now, mostly because this isn't the kind of video I normally make, but like, we're experimenting here. So yay, happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Let's do this. I'm so scared. No, this is just gonna go. I'm gonna put the makeup we're gonna try to recreate right here, right now.
We're not doing the little purple dots though, I don't think, because I don't think I've had stuff for the little purple dots, but aside from that.
Oh my god, this dog! Okay.
Be nice, it's Pride Month.
No. This dog is homophobic. So I'm gonna be asking them questions related to Pride stuff while doing makeup. So first question, what are your preferred pronouns and how did you figure them out?
Okay, so my preferred pronouns are he, they. And I figured them out because I changed them, actually. Okay, so
I changed them. That's how I figured it out.
let me explain, okay? I realized I was non-binary and I was like, okay, cool, like, I probably want to go with they, them pronouns, but I wasn't 100% sure. So I asked some friends to try out they, them pronouns with me and I really liked it, and so I went from there. And then the same thing happened with he, him pronouns. I was like, you know what? I just want to try it and see how it feels, and it felt amazing. And so, yes, so I use he, they pronouns, and that's how I found out that I like to use those pronouns, is because I tried them out.
Hell yeah. That essentially was the same process for me. When I first came out as gender fluid, mostly because in my little 19-year-old brain I was like, this is a way for me to like gently ease into gender. And so I was like, okay, I know I like
It went
they,
downhill
them.
from there.
No, it really did. I know I like they, them pronouns. At the time, I also was like, I've always been kind of indifferent with she, her pronouns. Like, it never connected with me, but I know most people call me that, so I'm just like, whatever. And then when people call me he, him, I'm like, hell yeah, because no one ever calls me that. The most comfortable pronouns that I have are they, them, which is why I discovered that I was like, you know what? I am more non-binary than I thought, and yeah, my pronouns are they, them.
Clean my brushes real quick. I'm sorry.
We're almost ready. Second question.
I'm gonna try to.
Why is Pride important to you?
So Pride is important to me because when I was growing up, I didn't know that gay people were a thing.
Honest to God. Even though we lived under a lesbian couple for like 9 months.
Yes. So I didn't know that being gay was a thing. I didn't know that being trans was a thing. I found out about all this stuff on the internet, which I would not recommend. Please find out about this stuff from real people if you can. I love Pride because it gives me the chance to celebrate this thing that it was so hard for me to discover about myself and to accept about myself. And also it brings visibility to the community and helps other people to know about us.
100%.
I'm ready.
You're ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's go.
Shreddy.
Shreddy. Okay, like I said, this is going to be the look that we're trying to recreate.
This look isn't like, the colors don't really pop very much, so usually I would put like a white base underneath my eye looks because I like my colors to pop a lot, but the colors are a bit more subtle in this look, so we're gonna just put them on your eyelids. Smack.
I was like, oh my god.
Your eyelids and see how it
I'm
goes.
scared.
Don't be scared, I know what I'm doing, kind of.
Okay.
I promise.
Kind of.
I promise.
How can people who are part of the community and also allies best support the LGBTQ plus community during Pride Month?
Everybody's gonna be different. So like there isn't like a catch-all like, oh, everybody wants to be supported this way, and when someone says I like to be supported this way, that doesn't mean that, you know, I'm gonna use the eyeliner for that.
Oh, okay.
Because it wasn't white enough. It's not like showing up enough. So there isn't like one catch-all way to be supported or to support someone in the LGBT community. Basically, you just gotta ask what people want and how they want to be supported. For me, like people using my correct pronouns, people using the right name is like a very basic thing for them to do to show that they respect me.
It's literally so basic.
To show that they respect me and that they respect my identity. Asking, I think, before you start asking like invasive questions like, hey, are you in a teaching mood today, kind of a thing.
Oh yeah.
But also just like recognizing that we're having a bit of a hard time right now.
We are.
And like your queer friends and family members are like not doing okay.
Nope.
And so like just recognizing that like some days are gonna be rough.
Ow.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm like, you're getting passionate and it's hurting my face.
I'm sorry. Some people, you know, are gonna have bad days, and just recognize that, like, sometimes we just need, like, a cookie or something, and just, like, a hug, and someone to check in on us and make sure that we're doing okay. Also, if you feel like giving money to your LGBT
oh my
friends
God, please.
or family members
Literally?
during this month.
Let's
Especially-
go.
Yeah, so.
I've got a PayPal. Support me on Patreon. I'll take Ellis out for like sushi or something.
Yay!
So for you, what is the difference between gay and queer, and how do you use those labels for yourself?
So I kind of use them interchangeably, actually.
Mm-hmm.
For myself personally. I know that not everybody does, but for me personally, I just use them as like an umbrella term. I do, though, tend to think more MLM when it comes to gay.
Okay.
Like a more masculine leaning to things, whereas queer is more like a, just kind of like a...
Feels more gender neutral.
A gender neutral thing, yeah. So it really depends on like who's using it. What I'm thinking of when they're using it, kind of a
like,
thing.
if you see, like, a cis man being like, I'm queer, versus a cis woman being like, I'm queer, what do you feel like the difference is?
You know what? I don't know.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering.
It's something I've never thought of before.
Sorry. I didn't mean to stump you.
Don't apologize. These are good questions to be asking and to think about and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
It's just not something I've ever thought of before. I usually say queer more than I say gay. When I say gay about myself, I'm usually in a more masculine mood. So, but I don't think you have to be masculine or like a man to use the word gay. It's just that's how I personally.
Check to see how it looks. I love it. I love it.
I haven't done anything yet.
I know, but it still looks good. So, what does coming out mean to you, and how do you feel about having to continually come out essentially your whole life?
So
you're like, I'm not happy, Lynn.
I am not happy about it. So
well, okay, how about like the first time you came out versus like now that you've come out?
So the first time I actually came out was to my boyfriend at the time.
We don't talk about it.
We don't talk about him. But basically I was having these thoughts before that point, and I was just like, you know what, I think I am having the same feelings towards men as I am toward women. Or the other way around. I'm having the same feelings towards women as I am having towards men.
Yeah.
It freaked me the heck out. I'm gonna censor myself a little bit there.
Yeah, I was like, please, YouTube's being a little stinker when it comes to swear words now.
Oh no.
They are!
Anyway. So I was having like a big freak out, and he had a pretty good reaction. All things considered, you know, like he was basically just like, it's gonna be okay, kind of a thing.
Which is so weird, because you were the first person I came out to, and I was like 14 when that happened.
That's
like,
a whole story for another time.
I'm like, I literally was like, you literally told me, hey, you might be ace. And I was like, okay, cool. And then like, I think it was like 6 months or 7 months later, was like, oh yeah, I'm ace. And then I was like, oh, I might be.
Is it okay to mention?
A friend of mine. I'm gonna bleep out the name.
So basically, I was on Tumblr a lot when I was a teenager, so I already knew about like the LGBT community and stuff like that. So I knew that being ace was okay, and like obviously I suggested it to you.
Hello.
But like, it wasn't something I connected to myself. That's like kind of a theme. Let me face me for a second. That's kind of a theme you'll notice with my different coming out stuff and realizations over the years, is that like, I connect it for other people, but I was not connecting it for myself.
Which is so funny, because like, I distinctly remember probably a year before you came out as Aro being like, I think Ellis might be aromantic, because like the way you talked about your ex, not necessarily feeling like those romantical stuff towards him as strongly as he did, thinking back on it, and I was just like, damn.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to fix that.
You're aromantic.
Yes, I am. But yeah, so coming out, sorry, this little section's gone a really long time.
Yeah.
Coming out, basically, the first time I came out was to my boyfriend. I was like, hey, I'm having these feelings, and I came out on like Facebook after the Pulse Club shooting, I think it was.
Oh yeah.
And because I was just like, you know what, I am sick and tired of this stuff. I'm sick and tired of this stuff, and I was just like, I'm tired of people just assuming that I'm straight. Ironically though, I hadn't actually accepted that I wasn't straight at that point.
Yeah,
so I came out before I accepted that I was not straight.
I feel like a lot of people do that though, especially in the upbringing that we
had.
we had.
I'm gonna blend this a little bit, but we're just getting the bases down. So anyway, I did that. I accidentally came out to my mom.
That was so funny.
What was the question again that I'm trying to answer here?
How do you feel about coming out?
Oh yeah, how do I feel about coming out? I think it can be very nerve-wracking. Let me just get back on task here. I think it can be very nerve-wracking. I think that looks good actually. I think that, I'm just trying to make it even on both sides. I think that it can be very nerve-wracking. I think it can be a good thing. I think it can also be a dangerous thing.
100%.
And I think we need to, like, recognize that a little bit more. Like, I think people are recognizing it more, but I think that we've gotten to a point, like, acceptance-wise, that some people forget that, like, it's not safe for everybody to come out.
Yeah.
And
depending on your
situation.
Yeah.
And like what your intersection is and stuff like that. So like it can be dangerous to come out, and I think that's an important thing to keep in mind. Like I would rather have somebody be alive and in the closet than be unsafe and like safe in the closet than like unsafe out of the closet. And so like I think coming out can be a really beautiful thing. I think it can be annoying having to come out all the time to people and just being like, no, those aren't my pronouns, that's not my name, or oh my like I haven't had this situation yet, but like, oh, my partner's a woman, like whatever it is, kind of a thing. People making assumptions, but like in general I think it could be a mixed bag. For me though, it's been a pretty good experience.
Yeah. Okay, next question. What does a good ally do?
Oh my god. Again, that's like asking like how can you support, like everybody's gonna have a different answer about what a good ally can do. For me, it's like learning about pronouns, making sure you're getting people's pronouns right, not assuming things and stuff like that. Working to unpack like all the heteronormativity.
Oh my god, yes.
Amatonormativity? It's basically like heteronormativity but for romance. Like it's the assumption that people need romantic relationships in order to be happy and healthy and stuff like that. Just unpacking everything. Which I'm still working on. Like I don't expect everybody to be where I am. I don't expect myself to be where other people are. So it's a process. But yeah, like actively working on unpacking things, showing up for us. Like if somebody is having problems and is like, for me at least, like if I was being harassed about something, like I would want someone to like step in and be like, hey, don't do that.
Yeah.
I know not everybody feels the same way, but like for me, as long as like, yeah. That's pretty much what I would want to have happen. So I know everybody's different. Just stuff like that, like being supportive. Just, I'm sorry, I keep leaning out of the camera, out of range.
This is a doozy. What was it like growing up in a religious household while queer?
Oh my god. So basically, like I said before, I did not know that being queer was an option. Our parents just did not talk about it. Whatsoever. And so I found out about like all this stuff on the internet as a teenager, which is not the best place to be finding out about like being queer and stuff like that. I understand that some people, you know, like me, like it's the only resource that you have.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I wish I could have had like these connections like in person and stuff like that.
It also doesn't help that we were homeschooled and didn't have access to like, other people.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like one of those things. Give me a look.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where like growing up in a church in general, like in my experience, when you grow up being raised and being taught that like you're not going to be able to, like at least in our church, like not going to be able to be with your family in the afterlife kind of a thing because of being queer, you're not going to be happy in this life like ever because you're queer. It really messes with you, and so like
it makes you feel so othered. And also I know that you've talked about it, but like not feeling a connection to your body and like not having like any ownership of like
yourself,
who you actually are, because you're taught that like this isn't you, like God knows you perfectly and you don't really know you, and you have to doubt your doubts, and like and there's like so much like self-inflicted gaslighting going on. Yeah, you really gaslight yourself. You really gaslight yourself. As a queer person growing up, especially like specifically in our religion that we grew up in. Why am I like thinking I have glasses on? Like everything is
took your glasses off so I can get to your eyes.
But yeah, no, that for
it sucked.
It was not the greatest experience, and it's really hard for me to like not have biases when I hear about like queer people being religious or doing that kind of, and I'm just like, I had a negative experience, but I know that's not everyone else's experience. And it's really hard for me not to be like, but I hated this, and this made me feel so constricted and gross, and all of the patriarchy and sexism and misogyny and patriarchy and everything that went into what I was taught and the experiences I had. This is not me shitting on any queer people who are religious and are very happy being so. It's just my experience.
Get out of there.
And it's one of the things I am trying to unlearn is that there can be queer people in religious spaces.
Yeah.
What are some things cis-het people should not say to queer people?
Oh my god. Close your eyes. So basically, a big no-no for me is like, are you sure? Or, oh, it's your medication. Or you just haven't found the right one yet.
Oh my
like,
god.
looking for, wow, that had a lot of fallout, but oh well. You're just gonna be sparkly underneath your eye.
Okay.
I'm gonna pretend I did that on purpose. It's too late though, you all know.
Wait, I'll edit it out. That's not true, I won't. I'm like, I just lied, I'm sorry.
Anyway, don't like try to find ways that we're not actually queer. Like we know, I will say some people's identities can be fluid, but a lot of people like who are, you know, no longer questioning, they've gotten past that phase, they know themselves, and like we know ourselves as we are right now. Whether that changes in the future or not, that's a different matter, and that's okay if it does. But like that's not on you to like try to like tell somebody and be like, oh, you're not actually a lesbian, you could find the right guy, or you're not actually aromantic, you could find the right person, you know. That's my favorite. You haven't found the right person yet.
It's just like, shut the fuck up. Like, no one's asking your opinion on this. I'm perfectly fine the way I am.
Yeah.
Shush.
So yeah, it's just one of those things that like really hacks me off.
It also happens like in the queer community as well.
It does, yeah.
Unfortunately, our community, unless you're a certain way, it is very exclusive. And it's also very like white-centered. I know that's not great coming from like two white people, but like, it really is. Yeah. So, what are some of your favorite queer representations in media? This could be movies, books, television shows, podcasts, fan fiction even. I will go there.
I read a lot of fan fiction.
Yeah.
Let me think. I'm trying to think of like ones that are actually canon.
Okay.
So
I was like, they don't have to be. We all know the queer baiting that happened in the early 2010s.
Oh my god, Teen Wolf.
I was literally just talking about that the other day with Max. I was like, the queer baiting.
The queer baiting of Teen Wolf was top tier.
So bad. I was like, just say
Styles
you're
was
bisexual. Just say it.
Let me just say that. Styles was my bisexual icon when I was going through that phase.
I loved him, but he never said it.
He never said it.
I felt it. I was like, sir, you're me right now. Because I feel you, but also, get it out of your mouth.
Yeah, really. So yeah, Styles, close your eyes. Styles Stolinsky from Teen Wolf.
Beautiful.
Dean Winchester. Castiel. You can tell which shows I watch, and which fanfictions I read. Turn your head like all the way. Sorry, guys. But yeah, so those three, I'm trying to think. Bilbo Baggins. You mentioned a while back that, like, you headcanon him as Arrow.
I really do.
I do too now. Like, oh my god. Pretty much like all the dwarves in Tolkien, because, like, there are no dwarf women. So I'm just like, I know there's probably going to be some argument about this, but this is my personal headcanon. Steve Harrington is bisexual, okay? And Eddie Munson was gay.
100%.
That man was gay.
They literally queer-coded, oh my god, what's his name? Eddie.
Yeah.
They literally queer-coded Eddie so hard, didn't you show
with the
me,
hanky.
Like, yeah, with the
he
costuming.
Was flagging.
Like, literally.
That boy was flagging. I don't
like,
know if he actually has any experience to live up to that, but he was flagging.
No, he didn't live long enough.
Anyway.
Rip you, Eddie.
Rip you, Eddie Munson.
Okay, so what's, like, good, like, canon?
So, I really like Gideon. I like the characters from Gideon the Ninth. They're pretty much... There's Gideon, and then there's Harrow, and... I can't remember her name. I read the book, like, a while ago. I like the characters from Red, White, and Royal Blue. Don't come after me. I know it's, like, a basic LGBT book, but I like that book. Let me think. You know what?
No, I'm scared.
Oh god, I'm trying to think. I've been so deep in Stranger Things fanfiction lately that I don't think I have anybody else to talk about.
Oh, okay. I mean, mine will always and forever be Todd Sanchez from BoJack Horseman, but I don't think you
I don't watch BoJack Horseman. I've never seen it.
He's literally the only, like, visible asexual character.
Oh, nice.
Like, essentially anywhere. Like,
oh yeah, and Bob from Bob's Burgers.
He's obviously. Literally you know what? I think he's pan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do.
So yeah, he's pretty much canon at this point. Okay, I know she's like a kid, but like I could see Louise growing up to be like Arrow Ace.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like living on her own with a QPR, or with a QPR Rudy, you know?
Oh yeah.
So
Oh, Rudy.
I love Rudy.
I do too.
But anyway, so those are like pretty much canon, but they're not actually. So yeah, anyway, that's all I've got for today.
How do you think media can improve its representation of the queer community?
Oh my god, I feel like I'm not qualified to talk about this. I would like to see, can you tell I usually do eyeliner on myself? I would like to see more stories of people who just happen to be queer, rather than like stories that revolve around, oh, this person is queer, look at this queer person. Like,
Yeah.
I would love it if we could just not like throwaway lines, but yeah, like almost throwaway lines where it's just like, oh yeah, my partner, and like you meet the partner and it's a woman and she's dating a woman, or like, oh, I need to go take my tea kind of a thing, like, or like my tea prescription ran out, I need to go get it from CVS, you know, stuff like that. I would love that. Just like more casual representation, stuff where it doesn't have to be like a huge deal.
Yeah.
Look, I love a good coming out story, but I am so sick of coming out stories.
I was literally talking about that with Quinn the other day. I was like, especially when it comes to like trans characters specifically, I'm so tired of like the endless like, oh, to be trans is like to suffer. And like I completely understand that because I did my fair share of suffering as a teenager and not knowing how to express what I was feeling whatsoever.
Yes.
But like, I am so tired of that being the only narrative that people are seeing and like thinking that's why like the trans community, like that's the only thing that trans community is, when it's so much more than that.
Yep.
It's so much more beautiful and euphoric and like more expressive than that, and that doesn't have to be the only thing that like trans, non-binary, and like gender non-conforming people are known for. Like you said, like it could be a casual throwaway, or it could be like someone literally having their first shot of tea and being like, oh my god, this is the most amazing thing. Like we don't see that. We see, oh, this person was bullied. Oh, this person like had such a hard time with like this one family member coming out and not getting what it like.
It's like you need to be hate crimed in order to be valid as a trans character.
Straight up, it's not okay whatsoever. So I'm just like, I want to see more representation of that and like other not really talked about identities in the queer community.
Yeah.
And also stop making everyone white. Again, I know it's coming from two white people, but like y'all stop. I feel like the sun is like doing shit.
Yes. I'm gonna be super brave and try to do those 4 little dots, but I only have black eyeliner, so here we go.
Okay. So what is your favorite piece of queer media that you've seen that is canonical? Canon? They explicitly say, I am woman liking other woman, or I am man liking other man.
So, probably She-Ra.
I love She-Ra.
I forgot about that for the other question, but like, I loved She-Ra.
It was so good.
It was so good.
And literally that whole story would not have happened if Katra wasn't
Oh my
gay.
god. Oh my god.
Like-
Oh my god, you ruined it.
Me?
Yes.
I
You
ruined
moved.
I ruined it. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I just need to redo the white a little bit.
Ah.
And I need you to like not talk while I'm doing the...
Okay, I'm gonna speed this part up.
That's the
Not
worst.
the cats.
Those are the worst dots I've ever...
Wait.
Those are the worst dots I've ever done.
Wait. Okay, y'all, the final look. I think they're cute.
They're horrible.
Be nice to yourself.
Alright, I'm gonna put some blush on you.
Okay. So, for me, I think one of the... So, I like Carol a lot. The Cate Blanchett movie.
Oh, okay. I've never seen that one.
The only thing, I was like, none of these actresses are queer, and that was like my only thing. I think the thing that like made me cry the most was a Netflix movie called The Half of It, which like when it came out I was like, I know like I'm gonna have issues and just cry the whole time, which I very much did. The experience of knowing you're queer and having a parent that you don't think will ever like properly see you as like who you are. There's a whole speech at the end that like always gets me.
Aw, I should watch it.
You really should. You will cry. Okay, y'all. How do I look? I think it sounds cute. It's a non-binary. It's a non-binary flag, right?
Yeah. So I tweaked the look a little bit, but you know, I think it turned out good.
These dots aren't horrible.
Fine.
You know what? In the comments, hype them up. Let them know. I'm so happy. Sun is setting.
Yes.
And my makeup is done.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Happy Pride, everyone.
Happy Pride.
Thank you so much for coming, doing my makeup, answering questions. Yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is not something I normally do. I just wanted to try something new, and thank you for doing it with me. Let me know in the comments down below how you feel about any of these questions. You can also answer them in the comments. I would love to hear your opinions on them as well. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.